This is Richard from Murkocet, and you're listening to Honest Fucking Brutality.
Created by the people. Created for the people. No holds barred. No punches pulled. Just honest brutality. I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. But you don't ever talk about my band again. What's this honest brutality shit anyway?
Honest brutality.
Get the fuck off!
Hey everybody, welcome to Honest Brutality. This is Big Sloppy with my usual cohorts, the Camera Rebel and Evil Irk. How you guys doing?
Badass, man.
Good. Well, we have from the Hotland, Arizona today, a band called Murkocet with Richie and Nate. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're good. Good. Enjoying a Sunday morning.
So is it like hot as hell over there, guys? What's your temp?
Probably like 72.
A little breeze. Nice breeze in the garage right now.
Nice.
That is nice. I have family up there. I was actually at one point going to move up there and went there during the summer. It was 120 or something. I was like, screw this shit. I'm out.
Where are you guys at, though?
We're in sunny California.
Yeah, NorCal, and I mean NorCal.
Like Humboldt?
Not far from there.
Further inland, yeah. We're
Yeah.
actually in Redding, California.
Right on. There you go.
Yeah, it's about as hot here as Arizona in the summertime.
It can be.
It can be, yeah.
So anyway, hey,
Right on.
we came across you guys recently, and we were blown away. You guys are heavy as hell, and everything is kick-ass on the music side. And we were talking amongst each other, and I don't know what's going on in Arizona, which is where you guys are, but some of the heaviest, most kick-ass music around right now is coming from your region, you guys included. Because we talked to Richie Cavalera from Insight. Yeah, had him on the show. And we have another band we're working with called Tribulence. They're from your area as well. And why are you guys angry? I guess that's my question.
Because of the heat, Sloppy.
Maybe.
Angry. Oh, man. I feel pretty mild, man. I mean, I think... do you think we're angry?
I don't know.
The lyric content. I mean, have you guys? I don't know. Have you guys seen any of like the live stuff on YouTube or like any of like? The
Oh yeah,
stuff?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not. Well, let's put it this way. When I put the music on, it's not like I'm thinking, I could dance with my daughter at her wedding with this song. When I'm listening to Tombstones or something, you know what I mean?
Why not? Come on, we're all metal here.
It'd be the first mosh pit you ever saw at a father-daughter dance at their wedding. It'd be awesome. Bodies are getting slammed.
That go viral, man. I mean, we should probably make that work then.
Hell
That's
yeah.
a viral video.
Okay,
happen, so.
you're welcome. I just gave you a great idea for your next video. Actually, you guys already have your next video recorded, right?
We actually just finished yesterday. I took we were sitting there making sure the clips that we wanted in it were all lined up properly and everything, and it's going to be done officially finished here probably in the next probably by the end of the week next week, and it'll come out at the end of April.
I saw the teaser for that online. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I see how these guys are.
We tried not to give too much away with that teaser. I was really more interested in trying to get the quality of the video to be to let everyone know that it's not just some bullshit that someone around here with a camera decided I'll get my iPhone out and you guys could I'll tape some shit together for you guys so you guys can put it on YouTube. It's I like that.
Right.
We actually went and found a friend who has a really nice production company of his own, and he helped us put together something that's gonna be really special. So pretty excited to go unleash that on everybody, man. I honestly think it's gonna break the internet like it's been, like you were saying a little while ago. It's not gonna leave your feed for a while, so I'd get ready to watch it a handful of times.
Good.
That's awesome.
Good. Glad to hear
Oh,
that.
yeah. Looking forward to that.
Well, as
one.
we started doing some digging around for the listening audience, they don't necessarily know who Murkocet. Am I saying that correctly? Murkocet?
Yeah, Percocet with an M.
Well, just to make sure, you never know. We talk to bands all over the world, and sometimes I butcher shit. But Murkocet, they don't know who you guys are. So you're coming out swinging, coming out hard, coming out heavy.
Yeah, no shit.
How the hell did you guys find each other, get together, and where did the music style come from?
The band's been around for probably pushing almost 4 years now. Like growing up, like I always wanted to be able to play an instrument. You know, I didn't necessarily have like the skills, and no one that I knew or like knew how to play. I just didn't have really the like resources to learn how to play an instrument at all. So when Rock Band, you guys remember that game Rock Band?
Oh, come
Hell
on.
yeah.
I'm the king
Alright,
of the
dude,
vocals
so-
in that
so-
song, bro.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. My sister got really good at playing the drums on Rock Band, like really good. Like she was nailing fucking like the Metallica shit on Expert, dude. And I had no idea how to play drums, and I was like, dude, fuck this, like fuck this. Like, there's no way that my sister's gonna fucking like be a drummer while I'm just some fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that.
That's
And-
awesome.
And so, like, you know, like I learned how to play the drums. You know what I mean? I went and I bought like a drum set when I moved to Arizona because I started to go to ASU. So I bought a kit so that I could, you know, take what I learned from the game, because it's essentially the same thing on real drums anyway. You know what I mean? Like whatever's going on. After I learned how to do that, I went on Craigslist and I found a band looking to have a drummer. You know, messed around with like, you know, metal vocals for a while before that, and they had a PA. I never even had a microphone to fuck with before. So like I was like, can I throw a song on and just scream along to it? And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I did it, and the guitar player of that band was like, oh dude, we're starting a fucking band like tomorrow, bro, with the drummer that tried out yesterday. And then from there, you know, the band just kind of grew ever since. And then, you know, as the members changed and you know, we got our permanent lineup, then, you know, that's when everything kind of came together, you know, to the way it is now.
That's so awesome. I like that.
You guys have a really heavy, hard sound. It actually reminds me a lot when I first listened to it. The first feel that I got was like early Lamb of God.
Yep.
That's kind of, you know, how it felt to me.
Hey man, well, you know, that's why do you think that though?
I think mostly.
What makes you feel that way?
Oh, did you see that? He flipped
Ooh,
it
he
on you,
did.
bro. He totally
Bam.
flipped it
That's
on
good
you.
stuff.
This guy's a professional. I
Well,
love it.
no. And here's why though. The reason why is because since we posted that post that you said was locked up in your feed for a while, there's so many different kinds of responses. There's the ones like, oh yeah, they sound like Lamb. Oh, they sound like this. Oh, they sound like that. And then you got the assholes who chime in every now and then, go, dude, you guys don't sound anything like fucking Lamb of God. And it's like, okay, bro, clearly fucking you're just, you know, you want to be black sheep. That's fine. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Well,
I want to know specifically what makes you feel like it's
Okay.
Lamb of God sounding, because then that's something that everyone else can hear, that someone who's not in the band, I didn't tell you to say that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
You said
No,
that
that's
shit. So I want to know
awesome.
why.
Yeah, good,
well,
good,
then
good.
that beats
Love it.
that beats the shit out of the old adage, the old question of, hey, what's your influence and who do you know, why do you sound like them? And in my opinion, I think when I first heard it, that's the vibe I got, and the feeling I got, and mostly because of the style of music being groove metal-esque in my mind. You guys, you have the layered grooves and you break them down and you bring them back up. And quite honestly, Richie, I mean, dude, you got something going on with your vocals there that's very Blythe-esque.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Very
Well, thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, he's accurate. He nailed it. And when we first pulled up your first video, we're looking looked at each other and said, damn, they sound just, they're totally, you guys, I mean, let's be honest, you guys are really influenced by Lamb of God, correct or not?
I mean, we all like Lamb of God, but I'll say that a lot of these songs weren't written, you know what I mean, like with Lamb of God in mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
Because like I like hearing what other people think, because if you want to know where I came from, like with our shit, like why I think it sounds the way it does, it's like, man, it comes from like, personally in my head, from where I come from vocally, it comes from shit like Hatebreed, or it comes from shit like, well, even I don't even know really so much. Devil Driver, probably like one of my biggest influences is going to be probably like Rob Flynn from Machine Head also.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean? Like there's a lot of like
yeah.
that's kind of like the metal, like that, because like Lamb of God, dude, is a really like, they're very, I don't know, it actually took me a while to get into them, dude. Like Machine Head's kind of more where my head was always at.
Okay.
You know?
Mhm. Fair enough.
It's like a lot of the stuff from like the 90s and 2000s is kind of like, you know, what I grew up listening to, and it's kind of like always going ahead and like taking some of that and then the stuff that's coming around now and trying to bridge it all together and still make it fun for everyone who's always at the shows and for all the people who, can only listen to it because they haven't seen us yet or who, are just finding out about us now. Got to make sure that it's all tightly knit enough and exciting enough for people to want to actually listen to what I'm saying to you guys right now at this point,
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think one of the things that one of the reasons I draw that comparison is the ability to do the type of vocals that you're doing with a dynamic range. A lot of people do it and they're in one spot.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just a style thing.
Right.
Whereas there seems to be a lot of dynamic range with that style of vocals that you don't hear all the time. And I make that comparison to the Lamb of God or the Randy Bly.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. Also, there's a little bit of a visual correlation there. When I saw you guys' video, your live performances, there seems to be some mannerisms and things that you are being done as a front man that remind me of Randy.
Dude, what's really funny, man, is like we had when was the Brown? Oh, on Thursday. We played with the Browning on Thursday.
Oh,
like
nice.
last Thursday.
Cool.
Right on.
Like a couple days ago. My one of the guys that was at the show took a picture with his phone, and it was me fucking standing up there fucking doing some shit, and he posted it, and then another guy posted a picture under that of Randy Blythe literally standing in the same position doing the same fucking thing with his hair the same fucking way.
That is
And
so
it was
awesome.
just like, well, there you go, there you have it right there. But I've also seen people fucking tag me and shit from when we were first starting to play, like when I didn't have long hair, you know what I mean? Like of Phil and Salmo, that literally it's like, damn, dude, like we're doing the same thing. Look, literally, it like if it looked like we were the same person. You know what I mean? Just like 20 years apart.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was
Younger,
crazy. You know what I mean?
less jailed version.
Yeah, less racist.
Yeah.
So, Richie, tell me about your vocals. Have you had formal training, or is this just something that you just kind of carried on with yourself?
It's like if you sing along in the car, you know what I mean? To let's say, so it's Naomi, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. Naomi, you when like how many years ago? When did Jeremy fucking put out that fucking Evanescence song, dude? How old is that fucking song? You used to drive around jamming that fucking "Bring Me to Life" song by Evanescence, right? You did. You did.
I did, but it was on 11 because if it was lower than that, then I scare the shit out of myself when I sing. So I sounded just like her when it was that high.
But it's like you sing along to it. You know what I mean? And like if you don't try to project, you can typically probably under your breath try and hold the same notes as this girl is holding. You know what I mean? It gets a lot harder when you actually start trying to project it because your body's not necessarily capable. You know what I mean?
I do.
What I have in my back pocket compared to most of the people and the peers that I have and the vocalists around here is that like I also lift on a daily basis. Like my I don't want to sound like a cocky tool, but fucking like my body's my instrument, man, and I'm in way better shape than most people. You know what I mean? And it fucking helps fucking make sure that my body is constantly prepared to rip and do these things. Like breathing is literally the most important thing, but I learned how to do all that by being an athlete in grade school and shit, and then all through since then just lifting and like you can't push 225 pounds like at all if you don't breathe properly. It's
Right.
gonna crush you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like that's why you'll hear people like like go like on stage, like, and it's because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
And like so I wouldn't even get involved if my voice did stuff like that. I wouldn't even bother I wouldn't try to do this at all.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But it's I got lucky by just being able to come upon the talent, just having known how to breathe for a while, and then like just like I said, like screaming along in the car and stuff. And finally, like it was a lot easier because I had like a friend or two that would also do it with me, and like in the car, and like it was like, dude, you actually sound kind of good. And be like, well, dude, you do too. I was just the one that decided to go start the band. You know what I mean? Like, and started the band and just like try to take the influences that I had from the different bands that I liked when I was growing up and the ones that I like now, and trying to, like I said, put all the pieces together. Like, there's plenty of people who have great high vocals, plenty of ones who have great low ones, you know what I mean? And the ones like Randy Blythe who have like those cool, like, the ones that just go from like high to low in those like little those rising growls and stuff that literally drive those cool slides on the guitars around and like, cause like even like Nate and I, like when we were in the studio, it was really funny cause Nate's actually been in the band we're pushing like 2 years here with Nate, so it's like, we didn't record, like this album only came out in January. We recorded most of the album throughout last year. And so it was funny because Nate and I were sitting in the studio on Guitar Day, and we're sitting there thinking like, well, how can we like bring the guitar a little bit more to life? You know what I mean? Like to bring some new life for Nate into these old songs, so that finally we have some good production quality and everything. We want also Nate to have his stamp on it.
Right.
So in doing songs like our song Repo Man on there, there's a couple of really cool, like whammy squeals and stuff that we were doing like on the spot there that day, just like to see how it would sound. And in doing those, it showed me like, oh, well, I can basically mirror those sounds on vocals. And it just like having like at the end of that song, there's a couple different ones where the vocal will follow like the dying squeal, like as it goes up like to its highest point and comes back down, the vocals will do that also. And it just adds a whole other dimension to that part of the song.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like those little things just, no one really thinks about how subtle those little subtle differences in the music like will really drive some of that shit home.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you're telling me is that when you were, because I know that you haven't been driving since before you were 16. So at what age were you in the car singing? Like when did you start to sing and realize that you had this amazing vocal style?
Probably like 19 or 20.
Yeah, right on. That's cool.
Yeah, probably like right around there. Like it was definitely when I first moved to Arizona, like when I started to go to ASU, that was like kind of when I started to mess with that stuff.
Yeah, right on.
Definitely came after the drums, because once I learned how to play drums, like it kind of opened the doors on everything else. Like it kind of helped you to understand how most of this stuff works mechanically with what the drums are doing, what the guitar's doing, how it all kind of goes together at a certain point.
Exactly. Absolutely. Nate, can you tell me about your first guitar that you got?
Oh man. It was a piece of shit Fender Squire,
Yeah.
and I got it used for like $50.
Nice. Score. So how old were you when you got it?
10.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So
At
did
least
you
started young.
did you save your pennies for it?
Yeah, I mean it was $50, so it didn't take that long to save for. But I had a friend that played guitar. His name was Carlos, and he came over with his. It was the same kind, and we just jammed together, like taking turns on it. And he actually was the one that convinced me to get my first one, and kind of just went from there.
Even I never heard this story before.
That's awesome. See?
That's
Perfect. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hey, Nate, what was the first thing you learned how to play?
The James Bond theme song.
Oh,
Right on.
nice.
That's cool.
Nice.
No shit.
That's cool.
So Nate be jamming some Dick Dale.
Oh, yeah, right.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
That's badass.
That's fun, man.
So Murkocet is burgeoning. They're coming onto the scene. You're opening up for a lot of bigger acts now. You were saying the Browning. Who else are you opening up for?
Well, before the Browning, we played on February 19th with Crowbar.
Oh,
That was the
nice.
last one that we did.
Right on.
We played for like Attila,
Oh, man.
Exodus.
Yeah. We were direct support. Exodus it wasn't November. It was 2 Novembers ago. We played with Exodus and stuff. But to be honest, man, it's not really so much that we're trying to open for like the bigger acts at this point. Like, cause if it's not a national tour, it's not really going to be necessarily like the coolest thing we could ever do. I mean, here in Phoenix, like what we have like going for us, like out here, is that the venues here are some of the nicest ones, honestly, I've ever really been, short of like going to a major metal festival where they build the stages up for you,
Right.
or to watch the bands on, or the pavilions, or anything with like a really cool concrete amphitheater. Like those are virtually untouchable without like a major booking agent or someone backing you all the way. But like to be able to play at places like the Marquee, these are things that like ASU is right here, right? We're in like Tempe. The Marquee is in Tempe. Marquee is one of the nicest indoor theaters that like I've ever personally stood in. So it's pretty cool when it comes to that. It's like ASU and the Marquee are literally like probably all of maybe a mile away from each other. And to know that there's going to be 60,000 people on just the Tempe campus alone, if not more than that at any given moment, everyone goes to the Marquee, and we're lucky enough to be one of the bands here in Phoenix that gets to play that place.
Badass.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
And
Yeah.
actually, like, you like I said, like I live in Palm Desert, California right now, and that's where I'm from. So it's like whenever I would come over here, like to go to school, like when I first moved here in 2008, like I would go to the Marquee to see like Five Finger Death Punch, for example. You know what I mean? And I was like, holy shit, I've never been to a crazy show like that before.
Right.
And so to see Five Finger or Hatebreed or any of those bands go and knock the shit out of the marquee, and then we go do the same thing, you know, almost 10 years later, it's really a pretty humbling experience.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty surreal. I can only imagine.
Yeah, so with the release of Digging Mercy's Grave back in January, we've been really just focusing on trying to spread it around as much as possible. Like, I mean, we're honestly probably really focused on not playing as many shows here in Phoenix and trying to come play basically in Redding, California, you know, or wherever we got to go and try and at least start to knock out the, you know, anywhere from the Northwest to the Southwest, just this whole general area, or wherever we can really go next, you know, is anywhere that someone's interested enough to make it happen as quickly as possible.
Right.
And while still releasing new content on a regular basis, you know, like this video is about to come out, you know, I know that we have, you know, new songs in the works, but the album's too new, you know what I mean? And a lot of people haven't, like a lot of people in Phoenix have heard it, but not everywhere else. And so it's very like what's basically been, you know, done by us 1,000 plus times, you know what I mean, is something relatively new to you guys. And if you guys are still enjoying it, you know, you may go home and spin it for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you know, or up to 6 months, you know what I mean, before you get tired of it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then all of a sudden when the new song comes out, it's new to everybody, and it's new to a whole lot more people than just the people here in Phoenix that we continuously play for all the time.
I wanted to comment real quick on your live performance because we did go through and watch your videos. We try to do our research, and I was watching some of your videos, and I saw a video where you guys played, looked like an amphitheater, outside, you know, amphitheater pavilion, and it was a pretty small crowd, but what impressed me about it was that you guys acted as though you were playing for 60,000 people. Mm-hmm. And right there shows me your professionalism and your dedication to the craft because...
You're talking about Marshmallow Madness. Yeah. No, see, because so that show actually what's funny about it is that that's a annual event called Marshmallow Madness for a local organization called Narcotics Anonymous for, like, you know, rehabilitated drug addicts, you know, things like that. And so what they'll put on, like an event for all the people involved in the organization, like every year, where they have food and they have like 5 bands play from like 12 to like 5:30 or 6. You know what I mean? Over there at the park, it's Kiwanis Park here in Tempe. And what's cool about it is we've been there twice. We played last year for the first time and got invited back to play this year. I'm pretty sure you guys are talking about the video from basically it's not even like a week or 2 weeks old.
Yeah, it's pretty new, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what's actually going on there is the person who took the video is actually sitting up front. There's no moshing allowed in the park, and you can't afford to have anyone get hurt. I understand.
Right.
But if she didn't turn around to show you that there's actually about 300 people there behind her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's actually a lot bigger than it looks, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna I know what the video looks like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like we never get to play with sunglasses on, man, and so when we do, we take advantage of that shit.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not diminishing the fact, regardless of whether there's 300 people or 3,000, the fact is the video does seem to represent that there's not a whole lot of people there, but that's not the point. The point is that your live performance is, you know, all energy. You guys are balls out.
Yeah. It's like, you know, there's videos. If you go back to January when we released our CD, we had our CD release show here at Club Red, and that place is literally wall to wall with some of the bands that this band has been around since its inception. You know what I mean? Like it's like we played with Sick Monic that day. We played with some of the upcoming bands. You know what I mean? Like, you know, our friends in a band called I Pariah. Like, I don't even remember who else even played that show really, but at the same time, we're playing with so many people who did so well on selling tickets and helping promote that show that there was probably 600 people in that place the entire time, completely loading that place out. And the energy that came off the walls in that room in that show probably lasted for a really long time, even after everybody left. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's like what's really cool about that is it allows us to go and have a really positive outlook at any show that we play, regardless of how many people there are. Because with just having a good performance, even if it is for just 5 people.
Exactly. And you know what? I think that was the point that Evil was making on that one. It was that you guys were just giving your all.
No, definitely. And the other thing also is that I noticed that our very first show that we ever played, the first time I ever literally stood on stage and played our songs, you know what I mean? Like, which was, you know, like almost 3 years ago, I think. And so it's like, I remember we played, because there's a song on our album called Lights Out. That was the first song we ever wrote. That's the first one this band ever wrote as a, you know, unit and put together from the ground up. And I just remember playing that song and like literally that song lights a fire under my ass so fucking hard that there's no fucking way it's not going to do it for everyone else. You know what I mean? Especially with the way we perform it. And so that's also a lot of, it's like there's like, okay, everyone's like, oh, dude, like, how do you not smoke weed before you go to practice? Or how, oh, dude, let's blaze before the show. It's like, man, are you fucking nuts, dude? There's no fucking way that I could do and be who I have to be on stage if I'm going to be high. Like, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, half of it is really just the music is overpower. It overpowers me still. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's we practice like, you know, so frequently that even at practice we're fucking throwing shit around the fucking place, jamming our own shit. You know what I mean? So
there you go. I love the
like
attitude.
That's where it all
Energy.
resonates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you're seeing when you see all these shows, and that's also, I think, that what makes it a lot of fun, even for the people who have seen us play the same set 20 times. It's still an exciting experience every time because it's always going to be just a little bit different. It's always going to have something different at the shows. Even if the same songs are in the same order, you're always still going to have, you know, someone do something just enough to be like, dude, and he did that, dude. And like, it makes for a good picture. Or maybe something happens and everyone just has a different time than the last one, but it always comes out being a positive experience.
Cool.
And that's what always matters the most.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, let's talk about Digging Mercy's Grave. I've been listening to this album, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. And you guys talking about playing live shows, and I know you're trying to get out there. Have you guys talked to anybody yet about jumping on a tour yet or anything of that nature, or where you at and all that?
We're trying right now to get some summer dates set up for like Utah, Vegas, Colorado, New Mexico. Trying to do something like that, but I mean, it's just hard when you have a full-time job.
What is your full-time job?
I work for Wells Fargo in the credit card department.
Our drummer's a mechanic, you know. Our bass player's he either paints airplanes or he fixes them. We still don't know.
That's awesome.
You know, either way, it's cool. And you know, like, I'm a service writer, you know what I mean? So like, I'm always like helping out. Like, it's basically an auto job, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. Like, you know, but at the same time, it's like, as much as we love to go on a tour, you know what I mean, that lasts like, you know, 90 days, which, you know, or 8 fucking months. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I literally love to just stop what I'm doing to play music for forever. You know, it'd be great.
Right.
It's a tough step. It's a really tough step. We know. Evil and I have been, you know, in bands. We get it.
Yeah.
We know, man. At the end of the day, you got to pay your fucking rent. And when you're first getting
Or
out
find
there,
a very
especially-
nice bridge.
Oh yeah, live under a bridge in a cardboard box, whatever we got to do. Eat lots of ramen, you know, whatever it takes to get by. We understand that, man.
We had talked to Sons of Texas right when they all
They just made the jump.
just made the
Yeah.
jump, and they were scared as shit, and they've just really been successful with it.
Digging Mercy's Grave. So the album came out here just recently. It's 11 tracks. It is a heavy hitter. It's not for the weak at heart. It's definitely got its own sound. Now let's talk about the album, about its writing and the production. Did you guys do a lot of that yourselves, or did you outsource? What did you do there?
I mean, as far as all the writing goes, you know, yeah, we did all that. You know, I mean, that was all us. The songs, because the other thing you gotta understand is that this band's been around for you know, like I said, like almost 4 years. Over time, like, we've, you know, built up all these songs and played all these different shows and tried to gain some traction here in Phoenix so that it's actually worth being in a band. You know what I mean? Because why would I want to go on stage and look like an idiot? No one wants to go on stage and look stupid.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people do it. You know what I mean? And it's not cool, and I don't want that to be me. Nate doesn't want to be like that either. You know, so we spent a lot of time taking these songs and making sure that one of the things about our shows, which is pretty cool as compared to the album, is that, yeah, the album's going to kick your fucking ass every time, and that's fine. Now, the thing about that is that you come to the shows, you're not necessarily going to see the songs played the same way. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it. So we've also been focusing a lot on how fun the show can be, so that the music and the show both basically keep you entertained inside and outside of the shows. You know what I mean? With us in your ears at all times. You know, that's the idea. So, you know, we have, I want to say that we have maybe 13 or 14 songs, you know what I mean, that are constantly being, you know, taken in and out of the shows and the set lists and everything. And then the album is the 11 that are on there. And so when it comes down to, like how it was all written, it's like these songs were all written and then they were honed in to see what we could do with them at the shows and stuff. So like they've all become these colossal things and they've all become kind of intertwined. And, as far as all that goes, it's like, that's why we don't really have like a crazy long set list of like 30. Like everyone's like, oh, we should have like 30 songs written by now. It's like, dude, if you have 30 songs written by now, I'll tell you right now that probably 25 of them are trash, and you better be fucking hoping that some of them have something good in them. You know what I mean? Like, we try to write and make sure that people will be blown away every time. That's why we're really excited about the new shit coming out. The new shit.
He's excited.
The sound effects are amazing.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. Yeah.
Well, it makes me excited too. I can't wait to hear it.
What you're saying is really cool, and I appreciate it because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a concert. You know, I'm spending hard-earned money to go to a show.
You get a lot of filler.
And you get these. Don't just fucking stand there. If I want to just hear the album, I'll buy the album.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
when I go to a show, I want to be entertained. Entertain me, motherfucker. I worked hard for this money. Give me my money's worth. You're going to charge this much money? You better give me that much in entertainment. That's all I'm asking.
And travel and expenses.
Yeah,
we have a good 3 hours to get to a show.
Yeah, and I appreciate what you're saying because to me that means a lot. That's the fucking world, especially in metal. I mean, metal's to me is the realest form of music out there.
Yep.
And when we show up, I generally want to get rid of some anxiety, you know, and take it out in the mosh pit, whatever it is, or they have them take it out on me.
Right.
The way it works.
That's usually how it works.
And I look forward to that. And I can't tell you, especially the big name acts. There's a lot of big name acts, and I don't want to name names of Avenged Sevenfold, but they bore the hell out of me live.
Well, they walk through their set.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been talking about here.
Yeah.
You know, that's the state of the industry right now. And it's unfortunate because it puts a black mark on the rock and metal scene for guys like Murkocet that are out there trying to kill it and bring you a form of entertainment. I think that the value, what people don't realize is there's no real value in an album for a band aside from what they could support on a tour.
Yep.
You know, as far as an actual album goes, there's no real monetary value there. There's not.
It's all in the merch.
Well, it's that and in ticket sales to get people to come to a show and get paid to play it. And if you don't bring it, man, then there's no reason for us to go. And we got a really lazy society right now. People don't go to shows very often because everybody else is YouTube and their fucking shit.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
you can miss the show on YouTube, the shit the next day, and you think you were there. But I've had so many people say, like, dude, like, I've seen you guys on the internet before and like it's cool, but then they actually go to the show and you put them on their ass. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden everyone's, you know, like, oh, I didn't know it was like that. You know what I mean? And it's like that with a lot of bands, man. And a lot of bands are really good. You know, you just got to give them the chance. A lot of people, like, tickets isn't fucking simple, man. It sucks. You know what I mean? And the truth is though, is like, that's why I always remember and try to make sure that we thank these people every time they come and for constantly supporting us. You know what I mean? Always having fun with us. You know what I mean? You're not just some ticket sale every time you come see us play. Right. I don't know how other bands are all the time, but that's not how we are. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to have people who actually give a shit about what we're doing.
Right. Please don't lose that mentality.
What you guys are saying, like as far as production goes. Now here's the next thing, man, is like what you're saying about there's no value in an album. Like see, like monetarily, you know what I mean? There's maybe no value.
Right. That was my premise.
Like,
yeah.
You know. Right. Exactly. Yeah. But see, like I said, like we actually have our friend out here. His name's Byron, and he runs his own recording studio called Villain Recording. And Byron, dude, is literally like this dude. He's the top of the food chain as far as metal recording and metal mixing, mastering goes out here. And like the dude will fucking take the shit and make you sound like an all-star. And that's what he did for us. And there's no other way. I mean, like with Byron and our album, that's not the first time we've recorded these songs in a demo form or with someone who wanted to give it a whirl. You know what I mean? Like if I showed you a demo version of some of these songs, you'd be like, oh yeah, this sounds cool. But then you listen to it when it was done by Byron, and it truly like represents like us. That's a true representation of what we were trying to accomplish. And with that allows you guys to go sit in your car with, you know, maybe you have the subwoofers in your car or something to that effect. You get the full experience. And then when you go to the show, you get that and some, you know what I mean? And you continuously just circle. Like I said, as long as we're in your ears, the majority of the time, you know what I mean? Like if you're listening to us all day and you see our show, you're only going to go listen to it more. You're only going to go watch the videos more. You know what I mean? Especially if it's not the same shit. You know what I mean? As like, why would you want to go see the songs performed the same way? Who wants to do that? It's not fucking cool. You know, it may be cool the first or second time. You know what I mean? But I've seen Megadeth a handful of times, but you know, you take away like the lighting and stuff, and it's like, yeah, man, I could watch Dave Mustaine like riff these solos all day. You know what I mean? And it's all good and cool, but it's like you can also listen to these songs and stuff. You know, a lot of these guys are all standing still, and it's like, you know, with us, it's a little bit more. It's actually a lot of it more insane. You know what I mean?
I dig it, man. It's all a matter of attitude, right? And perception. And I got to tell you something, Richie. When when I listen to Murkocet, so does everyone else.
Yeah, man. There's no other way. How the hell else are we gonna do it?
No,
You know what I mean?
my neighbors are real familiar.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm not. You think I'm kidding?
Yeah.
I'm not.
You hit a point there. When I'm sitting in my car, I listen to the music mostly in my vehicle. I have a 30-minute commute to work and back, and when I'm listening, it's happened to me a couple times, and you guys are part of the fucking problem. I want to start a vehicular mosh pit at 70 miles an hour.
Right.
And
Bumper cars.
Just a good old fashioned derby right there.
I shit you not. There's been a few times where it took all I could withstand to not smash into the car next to me while listening to some of the songs.
Yeah, you know.
So
I think that's what he means by angry.
Yeah.
It makes you angry.
Yeah,
They're not angry.
pretty much. Yeah.
that is
Well,
a
and
good-
not
But
even
see,
angry,
and then
actually.
what's
It's
funny, man,
aggressive.
is like, is that
Yeah.
that's what the whole name of the band, like, you know, like that's the method there. You know what I mean? It's a substance that makes you want to do crazy shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it makes you angry, aggressive, violent. You know what I mean? Like it literally makes you that way because it's so wild. And that's what we've always tried to create.
Right. Well, you're
You know
doing
what I
a good job.
That-
Mission accomplished.
Well, thanks. You know,
So for you guys, what's your favorite song on the album? I know they're all your babies, but you guys got to have a favorite.
That's hard. I don't know, man. What would you say your favorite song is? I like playing Dust Cloud a lot. That's a good one, guitar wise.
I mean, it's funny. It's like, cause you gotta, like, you know, like we wrote them all, you know what I mean?
I know.
With trying to make them all, different from each other so that whenever you listen to them, it doesn't sound like, oh, well, this one kind of sounds like the last one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we've strategically tried to keep that shit out.
Look,
completely.
quit being
You know
a
what I mean?
pussy and pick a song now. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
what makes the
so
question
it's like,
fun.
it's like, I guess like if from a vocalist standpoint, the song Overdose is going to be my favorite one. It's like my manifesto, you know what
Oh,
I mean?
okay.
Basically
Oh,
at this point you know, like I know that most people can't understand what I'm saying and it's totally fine, you know, but if you could, and when I'll just put the lyrics online later, you guys go look at it when the video comes out and just read along. And, you know, you'll just be like, damn, that now I know why he said that was his favorite one.
Right.
You know
Well,
what I
and
mean?
it actually leaves the song open for interpretation.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So
Ambiguity
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's-
I mean, you know, like, cause you know, we got Nate over here who's, you know, like I said, when you guys hear the new stuff, you're going to be blown away because Nate's literally just going to tear a hole through that shit anyway. So it's like when the guitar work, you know, like if Dust Cloud's going to be Nate's favorite song guitar wise, like, you know, it's got all, you know, like the cool guitar stuff going on. And then from there, it's like the new stuff will literally just be on another world, like just on another level completely.
When is the new stuff coming out?
I'd say that you guys could probably expect a new single sometime around Halloween.
Right.
Oh,
on.
wow.
Like I think that's a reasonable amount of time.
It's right around our
to
anniversary.
Let the album kind of circulate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, anniversary for what?
Oh, for our show.
when you guys started?
Yeah.
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 Our show.
Oh, nice. Well,
Yeah.
how many years has that been?
We're coming up
1
on
year?
No,
2
we're-
years? 10 years?
We're actually coming up on 2 years of
Yeah.
actual broadcast as far as the show goes.
Well,
but,
hell yeah.
but
Yeah.
me and Big Dummy over here, we've been doing this for actually about 7 years now.
Yeah.
Off and on in other ways,
Yeah.
but yeah, we were musicians before we started this.
Well, yeah, giving it back. It's pretty awesome.
That's,
Oh,
that's
Pretty
the
much.
idea.
Way to look at it.
That's the idea.
We seek out our forte is seeking out bands that are not getting the exposure yet and getting them the fucking exposure they deserve.
Exactly.
And we appreciate that greatly.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you do. And you guys are earning what you're getting, by the way. It's not like you're just half-assing it. You guys are busting your ass, and we appreciate that. The music's
Absolutely.
kick-ass. It all shows, man. It's all shining through.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Hey, don't cry, bro. I was just being honest. Don't get all choked up on me.
I just got something in my eye, dude.
It's a bug.
We really appreciate you spending some time with us today. Can you tell us how can people find you, connect with you, book you, buy merch, get your music? Where do they go?
Even to a point, dude, it's like the band is so readily available. Literally, like you type Murkocet into Google, you're gonna have every option, you know, at your fingertips right there. And then even to a point, like we laugh sometimes, like, oh, I can't wait until we don't have to have our own our own personal Facebooks or Instagrams anymore, or whatever the fuck. And it's like, that's the other problem. It's like, man, if you really want to get a hold of me, dude, you just message me on Facebook, bro. Like you'll find me. You know what I mean? Like it's that simple. But as far as the band goes, man, it's like this is actually more like Nate's whole area. Actually, I don't really know shit about where we are or anything. I just know that it's like I just say everywhere, but he actually knows, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon. We have a Twitter and Instagram. Pandora, Spotify. What else?
I know you're on
You can go to our
Facebook.
website, Murkocetband.com. That pretty much has a connection to everything
Yeah,
that
and it's
we're on.
it's a nice looking, slick website too.
Yeah,
It's
website looks real sharp.
nice and clean. I like it.
Thank you.
Well, you know.
It's actually my girlfriend Renee that made it for us.
Well, Renee did a very good job. Hats
Yeah.
off to Renee. Good job, young lady.
Absolutely.
She's smiling right now.
Aw.
That is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Honest Brutality with the band Murkocet. And I strongly suggest you check them out.
You better get your ass out there and check them out.
And go out and see their show.
Yeah, hey, they're challenging you.
Yes,
to
they
go see
are.
them live.
I think we have to go see him twice to make sure he's not bullshitting us about it's different every time. What do you say about that, Richie?
When I say come to the Viper Room on Wednesday and find out.
Well,
There you go.
We'd love to. We hope you get a little closer so it'll be easier for us to come see you because there's so much going on all the time. But we can't wait to come see you. Can't wait to hang out with you. And again, guys, we really do appreciate your time today. I hope that the listening audience gets out there, supports this band. Go over to any of their different socials, show them some love, like their page, like their status, talk to them, and tell them Honest Brutality sent you because these guys are going to blow up in the next couple of years and they're going to be on everyone's radar. And you can say you heard them here first.
Absolutely.
Done deal.
Hell, fucking yeah.
Word.
Word. Word.
That was a fun conversation, huh?
You think they're enthused
God, it
about their
was
stuff?
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
you know
awesome.
what? That's
And so they should be.
It's so amazing though when
Yeah.
you talk to these artists and they're actually, they're not walking through anything.
No,
Yeah, not at all.
Not anything.
I mean, it's absolute passion.
Yeah.
They showed that they really care about what they're doing. And the way they spoke regarding their live shows and changing things up and wanting to be different and wanting to
I
entertain.
love that.
That, as you know, I've ranted on this several times.
Oh, yeah.
And how much that means to me. And to hear
Yeah.
these young guys getting out there, putting out a quality ass product.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then following that up with the energy they're bringing to the live stage. Hats off, man. I'm a fan.
I totally
I'm
want
a
to see
fan.
him live. I
Yeah, me
totally
too.
wanna see him
Oh,
live.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
can't wait to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's so hard for us to make the Mecca to see all the different bands that we talk
Yeah.
to, but we
Yeah.
do our best. And damn it, I tell you, these guys, just go out there and check them out, folks. Their stuff is killer.
Absolutely.
If you like it hard and heavy, these guys are for you. We try to kind of run the gamut here with
Yep.
the music that we play, but I'm
They're
telling
heavy as
you,
hell.
this is right in Evil's wheelhouse right here. Another thing about this band that I really, really enjoyed was the fact that, we're seeing a new model. I think we got involved in what we're doing at the exact right time because the old guard is moving away and these newer acts are coming in. For example, Eric July and Backwards and what they're doing with the business model and the type of music.
Yeah.
Right.
And the approach has to change. The approach has to change because the model is changing and no one knows what the
Absolutely.
model's going to be.
Right.
And guys like this are going to be on the forefront of that model.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Keep
Good-
your eyes
good
on this
point.
ball, kids.
Absolutely.
This has been Honest Brutality. We thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. You can get more Honest Brutality if you need it at www.honestbrutality.com. No one uses the www anymore, Eric. Anyway, you can check out our radio shows. We're on Rock Rage Radio on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And you can also listen to us
On our center stage, and that's Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk to bands and showcase their music.
Yeah, and you can also call us 530-962-0411. Let us know what you think about Murkocet and give them some love, man.
Absolutely.
Show some love.
Head
I know I
over-
can't wait to see them live because I'm throwing my panties on the stage.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, they'll stick.
It's gonna be just like Shallow Hal.
The big giant
Yeah, that big old
Be more like Road Trip.
And while you're imagining big giant panties, you can also check us out on all our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We stay very active over there. We try to respond as fast as we can. And the podcast, if you're listening to it, thank you so much. One thing you can do for us that we forget to mention all the time, and it matters and it does help us a whole lot, is rate, review, subscribe. Give us 5 little stars. If you don't want it, that's cool. But if you're
Hell,
going to
give us 1 star. Just rate us.
well, if you're going to give us 1, give us 5, goddammit.
yeah, right?
In the meantime,
They're free, you sons of bitches.
while you're giving out stars and you're out there rocking out, listening to Murkocet, there's one thing that you have to do above all other things. And what is that, Big Sloppy?
That is stay metal!
Stay metal.
This is Nate from Murkocet, and you were listening to Dust Cloud on Honest Brutality.
This is Richie from Murkocet, and you're listening to our song Overdose on Honest Brutality.
Conversation
Honest brutality.